Every day, supermarkets across the country stock their shelves with Angus beef burgers that look almost identical to regular ones. But don't be fooled. These aren't your average frozen patties. Inside this factory, something very different is happening. Only specific cuts from premium Angus cattle are selected, known for their marbling, tenderness, and rich, beefy flavor. The process is tightly controlled, designed to lock in quality you'd expect from a steakhouse, not the supermarket aisle. But how does a mass production line manage to preserve such high standards? And what really sets Angus beef apart from the rest once it hits your plate? Let's take a look inside the factory. The journey of crafting an Angus beef burger begins not on a conveyor belt, but out in the fields. Specifically the lush, rolling pastures of northeastern Scotland, where the Aberdeen Angus breed was first established in the early 19th century. Originally bred from local cattle in the counties of Aberdeenshire and Angus, this breed is naturally polled, meaning they are born without horns, and almost always solid black or red. These characteristics were selectively developed by early breeders like Hugh Watson, who is credited with laying the genetic foundation of the modern Angus. The breed was exported to countries like the United States and Australia in the late 1800s, where it thrived due to its ability to adapt to a range of climates and conditions. Fast forward to today, and Angus cattle are a global commodity. The United States is now one of the largest producers, with the American Angus Association maintaining the world's largest single-breed beef registry. Argentina, known for its long-standing beef heritage, also heavily relies on Angus genetics, as does Australia, which has embraced the breed for its high carcass yield and drought resilience. These countries not only produce massive quantities of Angus beef, but also export it across the globe, with Argentina alone contributing around $1.9 billion in beef exports in 2021. On the farm, raising Angus cattle is a calculated process driven by genetics, nutrition, and welfare. Calves are typically raised in cow-calf systems, where they graze alongside their mothers for up to 8 months before being weaned. During this early stage, the animals are primarily grass-fed, developing intramuscular fat that becomes the marbling Angus beef is famed for. After weaning, most Angus cattle are moved to feedlots, where their diets are gradually transitioned to include grains like corn and barley. This finishing period can last between 120 to 200 days, depending on the desired fat content. The higher feed costs and longer time on feed are key reasons why Angus beef commands a higher price, but they also contribute to its tenderness and robust flavor. Once the animals reach optimal weight, usually around 12 to 1,500 pounds, they are transported to abattoirs under strict welfare guidelines. The meat harvested from these cattle undergoes rigorous grading, often evaluated on marbling, color, texture, and age. Cuts that meet certified Angus beef standards are specially labeled, though not all Angus beef qualifies for the designation. Only a small percentage of all Angus cattle meet the full set of criteria required for this elite classification. After slaughter, the beef is chilled and aged under controlled conditions, typically for 14 to 21 days. This aging process allows natural enzymes to tenderize the meat, enhancing both flavor and texture. Once aged, the meat destined for burgers is separated from premium steak cuts. Factories that specialize in burger production focus on specific areas of the carcass, like the chuck, brisket, and round, which offer the right balance of fat and protein. These cuts are then shipped to processing facilities under strict temperature control, typically remaining below 4 degrees Celsius throughout transport to prevent bacterial growth. At the factory, the meat enters a carefully coordinated process. The initial stage involves deboning and trimming. Skilled butchers remove excess sinew, cartilage, and fat, ensuring that only the best portions are sent forward. Although automation has advanced significantly in recent years, this stage often relies on manual labor due to the precision required. Once trimmed, the meat is weighed and sorted by fat content before being fed into large industrial grinders. These machines operate with astonishing speed, some capable of processing over 10 tons of meat per hour, breaking down the muscle fibers while maintaining a cold chain to preserve freshness. The ground beef is then blended to meet specific fat-to-lean ratios, usually around 80-20 for Angus burgers, before being transferred to the patty forming station. Here, computer-controlled molding machines shape the meat into uniform rounds, pressing each portion with just enough force to hold it together without making it dense. This subtle detail is crucial. Overcompression can lead to tough, dry burgers, too loose, and the patties crumble on the grill. Many factories also use CO2 systems during this step to prevent oxidation and preserve color. The newly formed patties then move down a conveyor to a flash freezing tunnel. This section of the line is often one of the coldest in the facility, using temperatures as low as -40 degrees Celsius to lock in freshness almost instantly. Rapid freezing not only extends shelf life, but also helps retain moisture, ensuring that once cooked, the burger remains juicy. Each burger is then inspected by a combination of vision sensors and human operators. Defects such as misshapen edges or inconsistencies in size are immediately flagged and removed. After inspection, the patties are packed, either stacked with parchment dividers or placed in vacuum-sealed trays, and labeled according to their destination. Some factories will produce bespoke lines for specific supermarket chains, private labels, or restaurant groups. It's not uncommon for a single facility to run 20 or more distinct packaging configurations in a single shift. All of this takes place in astonishing volume. A medium-sized factory might produce over 20,000 Angus beef burgers in a single day. Larger operations can exceed 100,000, supplying chains across the country and even internationally. The scale of production is matched only by the attention to detail, with facilities undergoing constant quality audits, hygiene inspections, and regulatory checks to ensure everything remains up to code. Cost is a constant consideration in this process. Angus beef, while premium, must still remain affordable to attract volume sales in retail. Rising feed costs, labor shortages, and increased energy prices have all driven up the per-unit expense. In the UK, for instance, beef prices surged by over 40% in the past year alone, largely due to a mix of inflation and disrupted supply chains. Yet demand remains strong. The average consumer is willing to pay more for what they perceive as a superior eating experience. And brand trust in Angus beef continues to grow. Automation plays a major role in keeping these operations economically viable. While many stages still require skilled hands, much of the repetitive work, like grinding, forming, freezing, and packaging, is handled by machines. These systems are designed for efficiency, often operating 24 hours a day in shifts, with only brief downtimes for cleaning and maintenance. Robotics and AI are now also being trialed to improve quality control and reduce waste further, scanning patties in real time for defects that human eyes might miss. And yet, despite all the machinery and logistics, there's a human story behind each burger. It's the farmers who select their breeding stock based on lineage and temperament. It's the workers who ensure the beef is trimmed to perfection. It's the engineers who design systems capable of maintaining the consistency at enormous scale. All of them working in sync to turn a once humble Scottish breed into a product now recognized around the world. From its rural origins to the flashing lights of a modern facility, the Angus beef burger is the result of a carefully choreographed journey. Every step, raising the cattle, grading the cuts, grinding the meat, forming the patty, freezing and packing, is part of a much larger system built on precision, science, and respect for flavor. So the next time you pick one up from your local supermarket, remember, what looks like an ordinary burger is anything but. It's the outcome of over 200 years of refinement, global trade, advanced machinery, and the simple human desire to make food not just fast, but better. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Angus beef burgers. It's incredible to think how much care, technology, and tradition goes into something we often take for granted on our plates. From the rolling green fields where it all begins to the high-tech lines that shape each burger with precision, this process is more than just food production. It's a global collaboration of farmers, engineers, butchers, and food scientists all working together to bring quality to our tables. If you enjoyed this journey and you're curious about how other everyday foods are made, be sure to check out our next video. We've got plenty more behind-the-scenes factory tours and food stories that'll make you look at your favorite meals in a whole new way. There's so much more to explore. Before you go, don't forget to give this video a like. If you learned something new today, hit subscribe so you never miss a fresh upload, and tap that bell icon to stay updated the moment we release more factory insights. And here's a question for you. What's your favorite kind of burger topping or side dish to go with an Angus beef burger? Or is there another food production process you're dying to see broken down next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and your ideas often shape what we cover next. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.